I need to check it out.
2 microphones in each of the shots. Who wanna call the shots? It's me. I'm the John. Woo!
I don't like this wide angle, and then you have not enough headroom. I made a severe miscalculation. We're gonna keep going. Here, go ahead and introduce the pod. We haven't seen you in a while, John.
We haven't seen you in a while.
The people want to know what's up in another episode of Monetized Friendship. Dude.
On this episode of Wigga Try Monthly. But
okay. The mic levels are good.
Well, Xavier's kept the podcast alive, so that's good.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
Just the review portion of it.
So the whole thing.
That's just the part where we talk about the music.
But I'm back.
Oh yeah.
Than I ever have been.
Wait, we gotta say our names. And we gotta do the generic
intro
thing for the new guys.
Sorry.
No one knows who we are yet. We have 15 subscribers. Who the hell are you to assume?
Hello, I'm Johnny Jupiter.
My name is Xavier.
And this is Wigga Weekly. But and we're back.
Fire and explosions. We got a new green screen.
It is, isn't it fancy? Yeah. I don't even know if it has something on it. Well, probably not. But yeah, it's been a few months.
It's been a hot minute, man.
It has been. Lots has changed. I'm doing a lot better personally. I don't know. Like I said, this might be your first episode you're watching, but I've had my steady progression this year in terms of improving my mental health, and it's came leaps and miles. I can't complain. I feel the best I ever have in my entire life, and I feel better about doing this than I did before, and I'm doing straight. I got a new car. Got a plan. We're doing good. Everything's gravy, baby.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
You're doing big things, man. You're doing big things. As far as I know.
Yeah, we're hanging in there. We're doing good.
That's good.
How about you?
I've just been chilling on my end. I mean, look, listen. Well, we can spill the deets. John and I tried to make a Halloween special. Didn't really work out. I wrote a whole script. We had ideas. We filmed it. Made it to the editing bay. It just kind of fell through. And I'm going to be honest, I got a little depressed. I got depressed for like a solid 2 weeks. Because I had these thoughts of like, oh, man, I'm a failure. I hate myself. I can't do a simple green screen edit. Yada, yada, yada. And I always make things a bigger deal than they are. But, yeah. I mean, I'm cool now. Definitely on it. It's just that little phase of like, man, because I really believed in that idea. And it's one of those things where it's like, you can still put it out at the end of the day. It doesn't have to be a Halloween special. And like I told you before off camera, like I had this idea way before Halloween. I just thought this would be funny. So it's kind of like just whatever, just work on it when you get the chance and then just put it out.
We could make it into a Christmas special and just do the whole thing.
That would be hilarious.
And instead of making it scary, make it funny.
Christ.
Do the whole thing, but with you in a Santa outfit.
Oh, dude, I meant to put that on. Fuck.
We can snap our fingers and you can go put it on.
We could do a clean edit.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, wow. Shoot, man, that was quick.
Oh, that was crazy. That didn't take long at all.
Oh, man.
Put in the timestamps in the description of where you think I'm going to have a heat stroke. Spoiler alert, all of you guys are right. Now, so as I was saying, I have this habit of making things a bigger deal than they are. I'm going to work on the Halloween thing, but I don't know. I shouldn't have let that hold up to the podcast at all.
Well, I wasn't really helping out either. It wasn't like I really had the best work ethic.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we all have our moments of, I don't know, what do you call it? Just slumps.
Yeah.
And everything. We're human.
There were just other things that I needed to focus on.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Even now, probably. You know, this is a very, I wouldn't say random, because to a degree, we didn't plan to do this. It kind of just started happening one day. Neither of us made like a commitment, like, yes, we're gonna plan. This is what we're gonna talk about. This is what we're gonna do for the podcast. This is what the brand of Wigga Weekly is gonna be. Like, we kind of just started this one day and just thought it would be tight. So with that being said, knowing that it's not a whole commitment thing that like either of us completely like agreed to, like, signed a contract for or whatever. It's it's whatever.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't a quite serious thing yet, but I would like it to be, and it'll be tight. But on our own time, this is we're just gonna build up to that point.
Yeah, and like I said, like I'm in a better place now than I was 2-3 months ago whenever we filmed the last podcast. So I mean, I'm doing good. I think I'm ready.
All right, man. Well, it's 2021. Who knows? It's gonna be a whole thing. I'm wearing the Santa suit. We got a new green screen. The production value has shot through the roof in a matter of seconds. Since you snapped it, John, through the roof.
I know there's like snowmen behind me now.
Bro, there's a whole thing going on here. Vin Diesel is a special guest next week. Who knows?
Oh goodness, dude. Speaking of special guests, we gotta have Avery on when he's dropping his new album here soon. And I would very much like to, because I think South Jupiter is it's a little past it now. I think he's already done an interview.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think he's already done an interview for it. But I know he's interested in coming on, and yeah, I'd love to hear the new project whenever it comes out. Avery, I'm waiting.
Avery's one of the one of our friends here, or one of your friends. I still need to get to know him more.
Yeah.
But he's a local artist in our town that we really enjoy. He's very talented.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've been planning to get him on for the longest time, but like I said, we've been having our things. But now, gonna work to settle in and get this to a well-oiled machine here.
Yes.
And start doing interviews, more consistent podcasts in general. I think we still need to have a conversation about what we, I guess, just want to talk about on the pod.
Yeah.
Because I still want to review albums.
Yeah.
But
it's just a lot of preparation that goes into it.
Yeah.
And like if I'm not really feeling the album, like it's hard for me to push through. Like I don't want to be an album reviewer, like as my title. Like I just want to talk about music. And that's what I like doing. And then like if reviews come into it, that's fine. But like it just seemed like for a while there, it's like we're doing a review, and it's like listening to that fucking Nas album. I was like, God damn.
I understand, and I try to make it an environment where it's like where it turns into a discussion.
Yeah. But
essentially we are doing like a track by track review of these, so
it's just exhausting.
Yeah, I understand, and it's
They're like, Amina was easy. That album kicks ass. That's top 5 this year for sure, for me, at least.
Yeah, it is something we got to figure out. I guess for me, it's one of those things where it's like, I like the track-by-track format because I don't want to miss anything, but also if it's like, there's tons of instances where it's like a track where either of us don't have much to say on, so why even bother? Mm-hmm. We can just talk about the highlights and then the low points, and then that becomes a conversation in its own way. But we'll definitely see. We'll talk about it here,
and we'll keep getting better and better as we do it more. It's just a matter of working out the kinks and seeing which format works the best to make it the most entertaining and also the most productive in terms of having a discussion and just being able to blend that. Because we have the podcast, and then it's like, I don't know. We have some good friends that are very loyal to us and watch every podcast. But I know a lot of people don't want to sit down and watch an hour and a half, album review when they can go watch Fantano do it in 15 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
So, and he's also really, really good at it. And he's been doing it a very long time. So, there's that as well. It's just a matter of finding our own little niche and figuring out what makes us the happiest and what we enjoy doing. Because honestly, that's what matters at the end of the day. Like, if I don't care what it is. If I like doing it, I'm gonna do it. But if I hate it, then it's very difficult for me to push myself to doing it. If I'm just not having a good time, and this is what should be at the end of the day, is having a good time.
Yeah, that's fair. And early on, I did say that I don't want this to feel like work. And I will say selfishly, I do like when you hate the album that we're reviewing because it just makes for good content. I'm not gonna lie to you. My inner producer is like, okay, keep it going. When you're just shitting on Nas and just I'm ultra black, I'm super black, and you're like, where the fuck is Vanta black? and but you're just saying that out of spite because you really just want to shit on the song and get the review over with. My inner producer is like, keep it rolling. It's a beautiful thing. Selfishly,
it is.
But I do understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, and honestly, and part of it's not just hate. A lot of it did come from a lack of just work ethic in terms of like just listening to the music and reviewing it. Because I mean, there are going to be albums that are fun to review just because of how bad they are, how boring they are. I mean, you can make a joke out of stuff. I mean, we're gonna make some jokes about this fucking Kid Cudi album in a minute here. Oh
For sure.
God, but yeah. So we just gotta figure that part out.
We're just working out the kinks.
And
that's
it'll
all
get
we're
there.
doing.
You know, this was a trial run 2020. It's been a shaky year for everybody, and I wouldn't say it's been a shaky. You know, I feel like we've done pretty good in terms of having a cool, unique format. You know, with the whole lo-fi look and. You know, I'm confident in 2021 we'll be able to grow a little bit more and just see what we can do with it and have some more fun. And
I have so many ideas, and I don't know if you see that box that the camera is propped on top of in such a ghetto way.
what is that printer ink?
That's a brand. Guys, we have so many fucking ideas for this podcast. We're just gonna make it just streamlined and very just such a well-oiled machine. We have so many conscious things that we're gonna do to make this better. I have printer ink that is going to improve the quality
What's it?
of this pod. No, it's a processor. It's a new processor.
Oh, sweet. No more overheating and no more dying.
Is that printer ink?
That's what it kind of.
I don't know why that's so funny to me. I guess just be talking about how we're gonna improve, and you're like, oh hell yeah, that's.
I didn't know what the hell it was. It looked like a box of printer
These
ink.
fucking PDF files won't see it coming, bro. Anyway, yeah, I got a new process. I'm getting new equipment for the computer. Ironically, my new processor is on top of my or under my old graphics card. So, you know, we're moving on up like the Jeffersons.
Oh, by God.
But anyway, as John said, we're gonna be talking about this Kid Cudi album. We're reviewing Man on the Moon
3, The
Chosen.
Chosen. Oh man, if Boring was an album. Well, not all of it. Okay. So it begins with a little intro, a little trippy intro, and you know, you kind of get all right, this is going to be Man on the Moon-esque. It's going to be the lots of...
That intro was hype because it was the snippet from In My Dreams or something like that, or...
Was it? I don't think so. I thought it seemed
kind of... In My Dreams, I feel like...
Oh, maybe there's a little bit of something in the background. I think I get what you mean, though. But yeah, the first 3 songs of the album, you can just fucking skip them. They suck. Tequila Shots is like the most bearable, but that's not really saying much. Let me get the track list out real quick. But
I have a hot take too.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't even know if it's a hot take though, because I've seen a handful of people saying. I feel like we both are in the minority for not liking the album.
It's not that I don't like the album. It's just it's Man on the Moon. It's like when Lil Wayne releases a Carter. It's
That's exactly what I was thinking about. I was thinking about the Carter 5 release, and I was like, wow, this is not follow up.
You know, exactly, because it's like Man on the Moon 2, not as good as Man on the Moon 1, but it's still good. I mean, you had Marijuana on there, you had a lot of really, really good songs on that album. And then you get to this, and there's like 3 or 4 listenable ones that like you would actually like not mind coming on. And that's not good for like your flagship, you know, album chain, if you will.
It's a weird thing with artists as big as Cudi. I was telling you right before recording, right, that I was having a conversation with Mason, one of our other homies, about Eminem and how not Kamikaze, one before that.
The one but Revival.
Revival was it?
Yeah, Revival. That was the one with the
him on the American flag. The one just incredibly
the really really shitty one.
It
was so bad MGK dissed him or something.
It's so weird, right? Because it's like you don't want artists to plateau.
Yeah.
You don't want them to make the same thing forever to a degree, but you kind of, you know, sort of want them to like
at least stay
in that sound that you like loved them, fell in love with them for.
Yeah.
But it's also like
Chance the Rapper.
What I was talking to Mason about was like, what if we didn't trash Revival? What if there was like an alternate timeline where Eminem kept honing in on this like aesthetic that he's trying, this poppy, whatever you want to call it, aesthetic that he was trying, right? And he just got like way better at it.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is a bit of the direction.
He has. I think a lot more people liked Kamikaze. A lot more people liked Music to Be Murdered By, despite how I feel about those albums. I mean, I don't think they're great. I don't think they're I mean, just nothing compares to the old shit, and it's hard to top that. Like, it's hard to top a Marshall Mathers LP. It's hard to top a Eminem show.
Right.
It's like those are your greatest hits. I mean, he hasn't dropped a Superman. He hasn't dropped a there's none of that. You know, and when you're I also had a problem on specifically with Music to Be Murdered By, with him having Juice WRLD on there, just because he was trashing all the new artists, and now you're gonna have one of these so-called mumble rappers on there. And I'm not a big Juice WRLD fan anyway, but personally I hate the song, but like I just don't understand like how you're gonna say all this shit about all these new artists, and then you're gonna have one of those prominent ones on there just who had recently died. Who, I mean, arguably you did it just to sell records.
I'm gonna leave you with that one.
I mean, maybe it wasn't intentional. It just seems fishy. If I was in a position in music and unbiasedly, like if I knew I could make something to like get more attention drawn to, because people were like, all over Juice WRLD's nuts after it happens after every artist dies. I mean, you look at fucking Pop Smoke right now. Pop Smoke on this album.
He is. He sure is.
He's on everybody's. There's all these. He's popping up on everybody's album. That's the same thing. It's no different. Yeah, it's kind of just how the industry works.
Yeah, it's sad. I mean, it definitely is a come up in a way.
It is. I mean, it's kind of, you can't really fault him for it. I guess it does just seem kind of shady, but or maybe he really had a change of heart. I don't know Eminem and how he feels about music nowadays, but
it's weird. But I guess I was saying to a degree of like you definitely. I guess me personally, I want artists, my favorite artists, to try new things. I don't want them to do the same thing forever. But it's like
Chance should have stuck with acid rap.
It's like at what cost when you try these new things? It's like, of course, there's this phase, like with A$AP Rocky's testing, like where you're quite literally testing out these new sounds that you haven't tried before, and sometimes it flops. But like, what if we keep letting you do your thing? So I don't know. I think it's a kind of a conversation to be had with CUDI's sound here, and it's kind of arguable because is he trying new things? Because what do you think the first half of this sounds like?
The aesthetic is still there. I mean, the first half to me. Oh, what?
Bro, we'll say it on three because 1, 2, 3. Travis Scott.
It does.
End of the review,
It does, but see, I thought that, but then I also at some point I was like, he sounds like Trippie Redd, but
we got to talk about Trippie too.
I liked his verse on there,
bro. We'll get to it.
Yeah, but these people are also inspired by him heavily, especially Travis.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was, because I was trying to play devil's advocate with myself, and it is. To a degree, there's a fault in that argument because Travis, his whole sound is based off of. He said it. Kid Cudi is like his idol.
Yeah.
And everything. So I could definitely see that too, but it's like.
But I feel like I can see what you say in terms of like how his vocals were mixed, like the washiness of them. And
I mean, the homie was doing like yeah in the background. Like I'm like Cudi, you don't. That's not you. That's a Undamaged, bro.
Oh yeah.
That's like a direct Travis Scott copy. I feel like
that's fair. That's fair.
It's as soon as I heard the ad libs with him in the background, like yeah, it's like, bro, this is straight up. Which is like, if you're doing it well, cool. But it's like it was just a blatant copy in a way. It just my main thing with the first half of this album, I actually loved the second half. I didn't, well, not love the second half, but I did enjoy the second half. But the first half of it. It just felt, especially production-wise, man, knowing the stuff Kid Cudi was working with before, with like Pursuit of Happiness,
and he brought back all the same people.
For real, it was Dr. Genius
Plain
and Plain Pat. Golly, man, he did have the OGs all over this record.
That was part of the promo.
Yeah,
it was on the damn thing on his Instagram when he's talking about the album. He's like, it's coming out. This is the original crew from the
That's insane, man, because the production was just not doing it for me. It was just so boring, and then he wasn't as like engaging and everything. That was the main thing for me, though. It's just the production.
Yeah.
Not just the production, but that was a big portion of it.
The
'Cause
production
like,
picks up in the middle.
yeah, I will say that. I'll say the album didn't get interesting for me until Elsie's Baby Boy.
Yeah, Elsie's Baby Boy was definitely the best track on the album, in my opinion.
And then you know you have exceptions. I
It was the
like.
coffee bean of the album.
I really did like on the first half. She knows this.
You like that song?
I like that song.
I fucking hated it.
I love She Knows
I
This.
thought you were gonna call it lazy and boring, just like I am right now.
I enjoyed that. I thought the beat was especially hard. One of the more harder beats on the first half. I enjoyed it. I don't know.
It sounds like a song that would be on Madden.
I'm not mad at it. No pun intended, but it's like, and then the Scott Pilgrim intro, like, come on, man.
That was
What
cool.
if I want the satisfaction? I love that movie so fucking much. Maybe I have a bias, but like,
I was trying to figure out where that was from.
dude, I watched that movie so many times, an unhealthy amount of times. But anyway, I really like She Knows This. I like what else? I think I have it in my notes. Just production wise, She Knows This was dope, but not in a like I guess not in a traditional CUDI type of way. It was just a generic like a trappy kind of beat, but it was one of the better of the generic trap beats on the first half.
I guess.
If that makes sense.
I don't know. It just felt so lazy.
Oh yeah, Show Out, of course. We got to talk about Show Out.
I like Show Out.
Show.
Skepta had one hell of a verse on there. I don't even really like Skepta like that, but I liked his verse.
Yeah, Show Out was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
I saw in this interview with Shane Lowe, exactly like the Amine situation. Who produced that song? I don't know who produced it, but probably Dot or Plane. But one of them were like, "Hey, we have this file just sitting around with this Skepta and Pop Smoke verse. You want to find your way on it?" And that's basically what happened. It was like, damn, son, that was a hype ass track, bro.
Yeah, it sounds like it was made for Pop Smoke.
I was about to say Pop Smoke. He has this you know a Pop Smoke beat
By the bass line.
Yeah, and with that what do you call it, that like a stuttering drum and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to describe it, but it's kind of sad to think about it now. But it's like, damn, he really had his sound, like you know a Pop Smoke beat. I was listening to this dude named Act the Savior. He's not directly a part of Flatbush Zombies. I think he's related to one of the guys. But he's from New York, the whole Beast Coast scene. And he has a song called R.I.P. Smoke. But the way I listen to new albums, I don't look at the track list. I'm just kind of playing it while I work out. And I was listening to the beat, and I was like, oh, it kind of sounds like a Pop Smoke beat. It sounds like something Pop Smoke would hop on. And then later, as it's playing, as it's, transitioning to the next song, I turn my phone on, and then I see it says R.I.P. Smoke, and I'm like, damn, son, this is like, I don't even listen to Pop Smoke like that, and I know. So I think that aspect is really tight. Like I said, Show Out, She Knows This, and I don't think I put anything else in terms of like, there has to be one more from the first half that I enjoyed.
Did you like Heaven on Earth?
I didn't really like Heaven on Earth that much.
I liked Heaven on Earth.
It wasn't terrible.
No, it wasn't terrible.
I think that's my main thing, though. The first half was just like a poorly done Travis Scott kind of ripoff, and the production was just so uninspired to me. And like I said, it's weird because like I feel like that SpongeBob meme, with Squidward looking out his window and just like SpongeBob and Patrick just playing, and stuff like that, like because everyone loves this album.
Really? Oh, you know.
I want to be there.
I was over at my buddy's house today, and when he had someone else come over, he's like, "Man, have you heard the new Kid Cudi album?" He was like, "I really like it. I think it's really good." I'm like, "I'm reviewing it later." I'm about to trash it.
It's.
I'm not even trashing it that bad. Can we talk about how bad September 16th is, please?
I forgot how that sounded. How did that go?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is the most boring, forgettable, lousy excuse of a song to include on I don't know why it wasn't cut. There's no way you listen to it and be like, man, I'm really, really into this right now. It's an awful song.
I'm just trying to see. I guess the diehard fans are gonna, enjoy this regardless.
Well, yeah, because I mean,
But I love Kid Cudi. I'm not a diehard, but I
I,
do love Kid
I
Cudi.
do.
But it's like,
Wait, I mean,
you gotta call a spade a spade.
I said the original Man on the Moon is one of my favorite albums of all time.
Mm.
Probably top 10, top 15, somewhere in there. Like, so, but for me, with Cudi over his entire career, it has always been a lack of consistency in terms of quality. I believe so.
I feel like the only true dip he had in his career prior to this for me was Speeding Bullet to Heaven. I feel like everybody. I guess there was mixed reviews on Indica.
What was the one with? It was like an outline of him, and it was a black. It was like kind of like
Satellite Flight.
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember people hating Satellite Flight though. I remember I didn't mind it. Yeah, that one track.
I liked it. Everyone shit. What was the one with where he was purple, with rose golden on it and shit like that?
Oh, Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying?
Yeah, I loved that album. I thought it was awesome.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't mind that one either. It was very forgettable for me, but, I don't remember disliking it.
Yeah, I liked it. Maybe, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
But see what I mean?
The only major dip in his career, I feel like, was Speed and Bullet. I think.
Yeah.
And then Indica did have mixed reviews, I think.
But but other than the first two Man on the Moons, how many home runs has he had? Yeah, I don't even know if you consider Man on the Moon Part 2 a home run.
Yeah, I guess so.
Granted, and also, I mean, there's a lot of hardcore Kid Cudi fans that are probably going to just flame me in the comments for saying what I said about 2, but
I feel like we're gonna get shit on for the Travis Scott comment. That's what I think.
It's true. Fucking grow up. He does sound like it. You know it, I know it. Listen to it again. If you disagree, listen to it again.
Especially Damage.
Especially.
But I don't know. I think he's been pretty consistent, like I said, up till Speed and Bullet to Heaven, which I enjoyed. I remember having a conversation. We didn't react to it, but I remember we listened to it for the first time together.
You didn't like it at first.
I think I was a little confused at first. I didn't, because it was obviously a very different sound.
It was like a rock album.
Yeah, and then I later on I tried to convince you, like, hey man, you're only saying this is bad because it's in the context of the Cudi universe. But if this was a random guy, wouldn't be shitting on this.
Yeah, but I was also like 16, 17 years old at the time. I was like, fuck you. I didn't even listen to trap music at the time.
I think you still hate it now.
Dude, would I still hate it now? I don't know. I didn't like Yeezus when it first came out. I've listened to Yeezus a lot lately.
Oh, really?
I listened to a shit ton of Yeezus lately.
Well, we'll probably do a Wigga revisit. Wigga revisit.
Do you like Yeezus?
I love Yeezus. You know that.
Okay.
I want to like dabble into fucking Speed and Bullet to Heaven again.
Okay, we could do that.
I really want to know what you think about that.
That is a Wigga re-review. That sounds like a really good idea.
That would be tight.
A Wigga rewind.
Wigga.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's some good shit.
It's just the fact that we got to attach a Wigga to it just to stay true to the brand. It's just so retarded. Wiggle rewind.
Dude, I'm gonna have to testify in front of Congress one of these days. I'm like, you've said the word Wigga on your podcast 910,000 times. I'm like, guilty as charged. You're like, you're going to the fucking gulag. You're canceled.
John Christopher, are you on record for saying Wiggle rewind? God damn it. Okay, have we shit on this album enough?
One more second. Let me see what we got.
We can talk about the stuff we like now.
Yeah. Elsie's Baby Boy was good. I like The Pale Moonlight. I like Rocks. Here, let's talk about Rockstar Nights with Trippie Redd.
Oh my God.
That was a good song.
Trippie killed that.
He did. That was my Trippie does great on songs that have nights in them. Dark Knight Dumbo. This song.
So here's my thing with that. With his verse in general. So
There's another one.
I was expecting going into this, like the title Rockstar Nights, so corny and like cliche, and then the Trippie Redd feature on top of that.
Yeah, no.
Trippie has a habit of like he kind of does the most, and he has the voice for it. You know, I thought he was gonna pull a Dark Knight Dumbo, and you know what? I love Dark Knight Dumbo so much. It's one of my actually favorite like trap songs of all time, but it's like I don't listen to Trippie Redd outside of that. So that's kind of the only reference I have of Trippie. So every feature I see him in, I'm expecting, oh my God. I'm expecting that throughout the verse.
And there was none of that
There
on
was
this.
none of it.
I
No,
said-
barely any auto tune
I-
on his voice.
Honestly, if you didn't tell me Trippie Redd was on there, I wouldn't have guessed it was him.
Bro, because it was just him.
Yeah.
It was just his raw. I don't think it was raw. There's some auto tune on there, but it was so subtle and
Yeah.
everything. Just his regular ass voice. His singing wasn't bad at all. His verse was tight. And the cadence, the little pocket he got in, I can't leave a blow without out of my hand. You ain't really just a thug about that in your head. I was like, oh, I love that cadence, bro. That whole flow was like God tier, bro. I can't leave a blow about out of my head. That's so catchy. Not gonna lie, I only played that song for Trippie. Kid Cudi didn't do bad on it, but it was like
I forgot Kid Cudi was even on it.
that's what I'm saying, bro. I'm like after a minute 30, I'm like, well, I'm out. You know, I love that song so much. Trippie killed it. You did your thing, Trippie, and I think it's because I guess he probably knew the magnitude of the situation, so he was like, I can't do my shit on this. You know, I gotta come through.
Yeah. That's it. Also, on Elsie's Baby Boy, we're switching back. It sampled House of the Rising Sun by the Animals. That chord progression, if it sounds familiar, that's where it's from. It's a really, really, really good song from the '60s. If you haven't heard it, you should definitely listen to it. Which I say everyone's heard it at some point, whether you know the song or not. It's like Sympathy for the Devil or like Fortunate Son or Fortunate One by Credence. But yeah. There's a lot of cool samples on here. Also, on someone in the comments can correct me, on Sad People, was that Paranoia by Chance the Rapper that got sampled? You know, at the end.
I gotta hear that again. Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even catch that.
Hold on. I've been riding around with my gun. Do you hear it?
Yeah.
It sounds a little bit different, but I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping, but it does sound familiar.
I gotta play with both of them back. I didn't even think that, and it didn't help that I didn't like that song either. Oh, it does sound like a This sounds like a slowed down version of Sad People.
Yeah.
Huh. We'll look into it.
Yeah. So maybe that was just something I noticed, but
We gotta talk about the Void. Do you remember the Void?
I remember the fucking Void.
You don't like the Void? You don't like the Void, John? Everybody likes the Void. Even people who don't like the album like me like the Void.
It was corny Cudi at its finest.
Oh, you didn't like the outro? I was listening to the outro, right?
I mean, I didn't.
I was listening to it earlier today.
I liked it the first time I played it, and I listened to it another time, and then on the way over here in the car, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this song. It's so corny. And Kid Cudi's corny, and you have to accept that. But like, this was just on another level for me.
To be fair, there was nothing profound going on. It was very repetitive. Nothing very profound going on in the hook. You know, It's very, it gets old.
Yeah.
I guess I just I love that outro, man. I was listening to it earlier in bed, just sitting in bed, just listening to the outro. Almost cried.
Damn.
Almost cried. And I don't. Okay, so for me, when I was reviewing Detroit, right, by Big Sean, I love especially the outro track. What was the name of it with Dom Kennedy? Still I Rise? I think it's Still I Rise. Great track, but I guess overall with Detroit, outside of the meaning or outside of the production and the sounds and whatnot, I really like the meaning of it more in terms of being in a very dark place and then just coming out of that. Because that was the whole brand of that was the whole theme of that album for Big Sean. I was in a dark place. I had anxiety. I had suicidal thoughts. I didn't trust anybody. And then you hit Still I Rise in the outro. And he's like, now I'm here. I'm doing better. I'm going to teach you guys how to get where I am. So I guess with listening to the outro of The Void and knowing Cudi and coming from just such a dark place that he was in. Of course, he had lapses of it. Like, what, 2 years ago, he checked into like
some sort of it.
yes, kind of some kind of psychiatric place or whatever that Drake made fun of him for.
Mm-hmm.
I
And what a dickhead.
that was a weird time.
Yeah.
I was like, so not on brand for Aubrey there, but anyway. So when he's just ever so gently whispering, "It's gonna be okay. Oh God, it's okay. It's all right." Just hitting me with that ASMR. I almost cried. I almost cried in my bed by myself. I was like, "Fuck, man." And it's like I just like the meaning of that track even more. Just like I'm out of this place now. I especially with the outro track, like maybe I'm a warrior, baby. On Lord I Know,
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a warrior. I was like, damn, son, this is triumphant as hell, bro. Like I love that, man.
And then it hit us with the to be continued.
Yeah. By the way, don't ever do that again. Don't any artist don't have a whispering child. You know, to be continued. That's the scariest shit in the world.
Ben, I thought this was supposed to be the end.
Yeah.
You can't say the end of the trilogy and then be like, to be continued. That's not how this shit works.
Yeah, that kind of threw me off.
I was like, you getting a new album or are we getting a Man on the Moon 4? I'm confused.
But also that whispering child is going to give me like night terrors. But
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You and just the child and you in the corner talking about Craigslist.
I can't believe you don't like The Void.
I don't know.
You felt nothing with that outro? That outro was gorgeous.
I like the production. I don't know.
It kind of sucks that I have to big up the outro and not the song as a whole.
Maybe I was just so caught up in how corny it all was that I was like, fucking A. I was like, I get it.
It's gonna be okay.
I don't know. I'll listen to it. I'll probably cry later.
Bro, because it's one of those things where you got to think about. This man has stopped so many people from just like jumping off a building.
Yeah.
It is like, I guess I'm trying to think about it from their perspectives because I never had suicidal thoughts or anything like that. But I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of like someone who has and who's been saved by CUDI, and it's like, man, this must mean so much to them right now that he's like saying this. And obviously, it doesn't make the song sonically sound better when you
But
put
it has
that
a meaning
context.
to it.
Exactly. And I really enjoy that part. It's just very sweet to me.
Yeah.
Just him saying that at the very end of it. I don't know. That's just me.
Music is about how it makes you feel.
I love I'm saying this in a fucking Santa suit right now. I never had suicidal thoughts or, I never been depressed before. And I'm just in a fucking Santa suit. God damn it.
It's like we can tell you don't have a care in the fucking world, Xavier. My dog got hit by a car this morning. I need this.
God bless America. I don't know though. I mean, listen, this album wasn't terrible.
Certainly wasn't good.
Yeah, it was just underwhelming for me.
Very underwhelming. It was a big old what was it, Rise of Skywalker ending to the Man on the Moon trilogy. 6 out of 10 from me.
That's fair. I like that. I didn't know what I was gonna give it. I was gonna say like a 5.5 or something like that, honestly. But a 6 out of 10 is good.
I think 6 out of 10.
Because the second half really isn't that bad.
Yeah.
If you gave me,
but
the
Elsie's
second
Baby makes it up. If Elsie's Baby wasn't on there, this fucker would be a 4.
Elsie's Baby was fantastic. That's vintage CUDI right there.
It was really good. But like, I don't know. Like, I like the Kanye album he did better. I like Pain, Passion, Demon Slaying better.
Yeah.
I thought the Kanye album encapsulated more of the Man on the Moon spirit than this album did.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, it definitely did. Maybe because Kanye was I don't know. It's because the OGs
Kanye
were
didn't have
this.
anything to do with Man on the Moon 1.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, yeah, he did. Actually, I'm sure he did because he had a feature on there, and his ass got his hands all over everything on there at that point.
Yeah, but I do know what you mean, though. It's a very small part of like what the playing pad and everything was contributing to it. So I don't know. It sucks with these big artists, man, putting out new projects, and it's like it just doesn't follow up. And I'm a huge advocate of the Jay-Z line. You like my old shit, buy my old album or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm completely with that. But it's just like, dang, dude, I just want you to. I just wish you harnessed and molded and the sound that we fell in love with you for, and just took that to another level, just transcended on that.
Yeah.
But it's just, but I guess that goes back to the conversation. Do you want your artist to, do the sound that they did like 5 or 6 years ago, or do you want them to try new things and progress? Who knows?
I just want to make good music.
Yeah.
I don't care what the fuck it is.
Yeah.
I just want to hear good music, and a lot of this just could have been cut. Like you could probably cut like 5 or 6 songs off this.
That's what I'm about to say. Elsie's Baby Boy to Lord I Know, and then Slide In, Show Out, and in my opinion, She Knows in there. You have a good album. You have a decent album.
She knows.
What if I want the satisfaction?
She know. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And the shit is so lazy. Yeah.
I didn't mind it though. Anyway, we're 37 minutes into this. We've essentially wrapped up CUDI.
The quickest review we've done. See, that wasn't so fucking bad.
Yeah, I kind of like that. We talk about the highs, we talk about the lows.
That's what I'm saying. I don't have to have a detailed analysis of every single song.
Mm-hmm.
That was nice. I liked how that went. That went well.
Like I said, we're figuring things out still.
Yeah.
But what do you feel liking? Because we still have. Do you want to go an hour of just like just talking about just like life shit, or we're good to wrap up here? You think?
Let's see. What can we talk about?
So this is the thing, and I guess this is where people can leave. But I guess there's a little what do you call it, behind the scenes kind of shit. But like, should we do like topics or whatever? Should we talk about like the vaccine and stuff like that, and cyberpunk and things like that?
I would like to talk about some of the extra stuff outside of music, just because that creeps in everybody's lives, and I don't know, everybody can relate, and how it's.
That's fair too, because like I mean, I'm thinking about this like, okay, if someone's driving to work listening to us, they have like an hour drive to work. Like, do they want to hear CUDI the whole time?
Maybe. I think it just needs to flow. I mean, that's how a podcast works. It's just a conversation.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be segmented necessarily.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of like the virus, I don't know. Like, I just like. With everything that's happened this year and all the turmoil and the election and the virus and fucking murder hornets and all sorts of crazy shit. Like,
how about the murder hornets?
I know that one didn't really stick. I think the powers that be were hoping that would.
Yeah,
but,
WSB was like, fuck.
But I can't really say it's been a bad year for me. I really can't. I've made.
I definitely had a worse year than this.
Oh, for sure.
This year sucked, but like.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I mean, thankfully we're in Georgia where it's all been more relaxed here in terms of the lockdown and things of that nature. You can whatever your opinion is on that. I mean, you can take it or leave it, but we've had a little bit more freedom than a lot of the people in the country have had, so I'm very thankful for that. I never really talked about it before, but I was seeing a therapist for a while. I actually had my last therapy appointment a few weeks ago. Just because her and I both thought that I'd made enough progress to where I could kind of step out of it for a little bit and see how I do on my own. And so
she suggested?
Yeah, well, she asked me, she's like, "What do you think?" And I'm like, "I think that's a good idea."
Oh wow!
So
I don't know how it traditionally works. If like therapist is like, okay, kick rocks, you're good.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, well, I mean, it's just a conversation. I mean, like, she might think I'm good, but I might not think I'm good.
Right.
But I think it was kind of a mutual agreement. And the worst part about it is it's just like you kind of form that, I don't know, almost a friendship in a way. And it just kind of sucks you don't get to see that person anymore and have those conversations and talk and stuff. Because, I mean, like, regardless of the actual therapy portion of it, I just enjoyed talking.
Yeah.
I thought I'm used to walking into the room and being one of the smarter people, and like I met her and she's just like 1,000 times smarter than I am, and it was like, holy shit, it was just it was cool. She's a very, very cool lady. I hope everything's going great with her. And if we cross paths again, which I hope we do, we'll be all right. But I'm doing a lot better. Best I ever have personally in my entire life. I feel better about myself now. I feel like that's started to creep into other aspects of my life, and 2021 is going to be one hell of a year for Johnny.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
So
this really helped with the therapy thing.
Yeah, we're good. And I bring it up because a lot of times, especially with men, it's hard to admit you can't handle it or you ain't got it, and to talk about it and to admit that you're not all right. Because a lot of times there's a lot of pressure to just suck it up and put on a brave face and just keep rocking with it, and you can't do that forever. It's gonna come up and it's gonna affect you and it's gonna tear you apart, and you have to address it. It's not an option. And I'm not saying that you necessarily need to go to therapy. There might be other things, but all I'm saying is that it doesn't make you less of a man to accept help. If anything, it makes you more of a man because you realize that there's an issue with yourself and you are trying to address it to become a better one. And I am a much better man now than I was at the beginning of this year. And I owe all of it to that process. And I mean, there's not a better advertisement for therapy than a person that's gone through it and has found success. And if there's anybody that needs my thoughts or wants my advice on any of it, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. Comment below. Our Instagrams will be in the description.
Hell yeah.
So, but yeah, ain't no shame in the mental health game. Take care of yourselves, especially this year. I feel like, if anything, 2020 has shown us how important it is to take care of ourselves mentally and to make sure we're all straight. Because, we've been cooped up. There's been all this turmoil going on. We've had an election, and there's election fraud, and
everybody's tense and just
everyone's at each
and
other's throats. You have two controversial candidates. You have the coronavirus, and you have all. It's just a bunch of fuckery that's been going on this year that's been stressing everybody out, and you need to take care of yourselves. If you're not good here, everything else is just it's not gonna work. You have to be okay up here, and then everything else will start to fall into place. I promise you.
Yeah, for sure, man. Definitely prioritize your mental health, and definitely what you said about it, not having an ego about it.
Yeah, because it's just because a lot of it is pride, and I've fallen victim to it. It's a I'm weak because I can't handle it, and why can't I handle it? And I'm not good enough, or whatever it may be. And it's not that we all have our shortcomings, and I think, in my personal opinion, not accepting help or not admitting that you have it is an insecurity thing more than anything. And one, it hurts you, and it's not doing anything. So you can either sit around and do nothing and be miserable and not fix the issue, or you can do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to fix a fucking toilet. I'm gonna call a plumber. Mm-hmm. Why is it? It's no different. Why is there no shame involved in that? But there's shame involved in talking with a professional about getting your head right.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, what are you proving to anyone by trying to fix that toilet yourself, or like?
That's what I'm saying. You don't need to prove shit to anybody. You're fine. You are enough.
Yeah.
So, and again, like back to this year, humans need interaction with other humans. Humans need each other. We are not a solitary species. We're very much a pack animal. That's why solitary confinement in some places has been outlawed, because it's considered a cruel and unusual punishment to do that to people, because it drives people fucking nuts not being around other humans. Mm-hmm. We need each other more than we realize that. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand how much we need each other until they don't have it. So it's very important that we help each other, because you never know where someone's at or what they've been through or what's going on with them. So if you can lend a hand, you should. And if someone, and just like that, like I've been down bad, and I'm sure a lot of y'all have. It's not a handout, it's just help. Don't be ashamed to take it.
Yeah, for sure, man. Beautiful message, John.
So
beautiful.
And that's all I have to say about that. So
I respect it, man. It's kind of weird because I was looking through my Snapchat the other day, and it was like some guy posted on his story like, man, this year has been just rough, and it's like I'm not suicidal, but I just been ready to leave this earth and everything, and it's like, fuck, man, and just the amount of people that are going through that emotion. I don't think I've been at a point this year where I've felt that. I mean, obviously, I lost my job and everything, and that that definitely fucked with me because it was the best job I've had in a while. Like it changed my life in so many ways in terms of just how much I was making and the opportunities that opened up, having weekends off, and being able to do stuff like this and having that free time now. But I don't know, man. I mean, you do gotta think about it from other people's perspectives and everything.
yeah,
That's another thing that helps too. I mean, of course, not to.
just mindfulness.
Yeah, don't. Of course, don't belittle your own issues, but also acknowledge be thankful and recognize that it definitely could be worse for you
Definitely.
in a way.
And it just a lot of my issues have just been solved with just a little bit of mindfulness and compassion. Like I was at work. It was about a month ago. I needed help from one of the techs. I came over, asked him. I was like, "Hey man, can you help me? You got a second to help me with something?" He was like, "No." He was just very short. Just no, not right now. I'm like, "Oh, okay." And he's never like that. He's one of the nicest people at the shop. He's one of my favorite people there. So it was very out of character for him to act that way. Now I could have, gone one way and been like, fuck him. He must have talked to me like that. I never did anything to him. Or, what's his goddamn problem? But I didn't. I went outside. I kept working. He came out back, and he was like, hey, man, I want to say sorry. I didn't mean to do it to you. It's just I've got some stuff going on with my wife or my ex-wife and blase. And I'm like, it's because a lot of times when people act a certain way, it has very, very little to do with you and everything to do with them or what's going on with their life. It has nothing to do with you. Don't take it so personally. People are just, you have no idea the type of day someone's had or what happened. You can get an argument with someone at Walmart. You don't know what's going on with them. Their dad could have died the day before. Their son could be sick. You have no idea. Just practice a little mindfulness, a little compassion. Put yourself in take a step back from a moment. Don't be so impulsive. Just think.
Yeah, for sure. That definitely helps to have empathy and everything like that.
But
That's a beautiful thing. And that's what I'm trying to get better at. Just having like emotional awareness and shit like that.
yeah. And
I want to know what other people are feeling, and I want to. I want to be honest about like how I'm feeling and everything. Like I don't want to. I don't want to fake any kind of emotions. I don't want to put up a front or a facade when I'm sad or when I'm angry. Like a lot of things, like I realize when I'm upset lately, when I'm mad, I just tell myself like, hey, like whether someone makes me upset or just whatever the case is, I tell myself like, okay, of course you don't want to be feeling this emotion, but it's happening and you do feel it. At least you acknowledge that this anger you have is petty, is for a petty reason, or for instance, me missing the deadline on the horror film. Like, okay, you're depressed, you're bummed out, and that's what you're gonna be feeling for a hot minute, realistically. But as long as this is me talking to myself, like as long as you know that this feeling you have right now isn't worth it, you can always put it out. There's always more time, essentially, and I found that telling myself that just really helps because, like I said, I don't want to put on a front, I want to be real with who I am and I want to be honest with myself. So that's a big thing to have too, just emotional awareness and knowing how you feel at all times and not trying to cover it up at all.
absolutely.
Damn, son, this is what did Cuddy bring out of us?
I know.
What is this?
I can still feel love.
That's the main thing, though. When I was like just talking about the void, it's like what you were talking about essentially with with empathy and recognizing other people's feelings. This song is definitely, poopy diapers to us, but it's like, damn, from the perspective of someone that almost hung themselves or whatever. This means a whole nother thing to them. With the ASMR, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be all right. So it's like, just definitely having that empathy helps.
Absolutely.
This was nice. 51 minutes. I think this is good.
I think this is
I
good.
think this is a good pod. We had a quality pod here.
Yeah,
It wasn't all music. Wasn't all
It's very diverse. It's a
Yeah.
good conversation. It flowed well. We had a cool snappy Santa swap.
I'm in a Santa suit talking about depression and emotional awareness.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Be safe. Take care of yourselves. Be nice to one another. Make someone's day. Be the reason someone smiles. Y'all take care. I'm Johnny Jupiter.
My name is Xavier. This has been another episode of Wigga.